Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. What you see here on the screen, this was last night, Wednesday the 1st. I'm recording this on Thursday the 2nd. It was me and Jenica coming home from doing errands, and we were looking up in the sky at the conjunction that was taking place between Venus and Jupiter. And it was really quite a sight to see. I hope you got to see it. I'm sure it'll still kind of look that way tonight and maybe the next day. Maybe not. I don't know. But if you got to see it, great. If not, here you go. I recorded it for you as we go down this country road back home. So that's what I wanted to talk about today is the conjunction. There's different things to talk about here about this thing. We're gonna go back in time back to December 2020 when there was the Jupiter Saturn conjunction and look at a couple things there. And then we're going to come back in time to what happened just yesterday at the time that I'm recording this. And an interesting detail, I don't think anyone else has like realized, at least I haven't seen it anywhere. So there's kind of a lot to talk about, interestingly. First, let's take a look at our Book of Mormon sharing challenge. The numbers have been updated again. I'm going to stay on top of this thing. So right now, we're at 4,271. That's almost 20 more than the last time that I updated this. So, and we have 2 new people that have joined. So now we have a total of 347 people that have shared copies of the Book of Mormon. I would encourage you to do it. It's easier now more than ever. Go to the Gospel Library app, go to Scriptures, and then click the button up at the top that says share, and then you can text it, you can email it, you can put it in a message to somebody. So please do it. Send me a simple message letting me know how many you shared, and I'll update you on the tracker. Okay, so this is my most recent entry on the Second Coming timeline, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And actually, I think I'm going to, instead of a hyphen, I'm going to do that. Okay, so this happened, the closest that they were together, according to the articles that I've read, was yesterday on March 1st. Okay. There's been a lot of things going on with Jupiter. You'll remember that just a few months ago in September on Rosh Hashanah, at the time that Rosh Hashanah was starting, that's when Jupiter was the closest to Earth that it has been in 59 years. Okay. Now, of course, Judaism is all around the world, but essentially, at least here in the United States, it was the closest to the Earth in 59 years as Rosh Hashanah was starting. Rosh Hashanah is a significant holiday. It's the Jewish New Year, and it's one of the 2 high holy days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And between them is the 10 days of Av. That's the holiest time during the Jewish year, and that's when Jupiter showed up, the closest to Earth. And now it's really close in the sky, of course, from our point of view, really close in the sky to Venus. So we're going to look at what Venus means, what Jupiter means, stuff like that. Okay. Now, first, let's go back to the year 2020, December 21st. It was winter solstice, which is interesting. And there was a gosh dang it, sorry. There was a rare conjunction that night of Jupiter and Saturn. What's a conjunction? Just make sure we're all on the same page. It's when, from our point of view, when you look up in the sky, 2 planets are really close together. That's called a conjunction. Now, a lot of people were excited about this one in 2020 because that's when a really popular Second Coming timeline type thing came out, a presentation, and it mentioned this conjunction. And I was really excited about it until I saw this. This is President Nelson's Facebook post on that day. And he said, "Tonight, December 21st, is the winter solstice, regarded in many traditions as the darkest and longest night of the year. How fitting that, excuse me, how fitting that astronomers and scientists are predicting tonight's appearance of a quote unquote Christmas star, formed by the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, a rare event not seen in nearly 400 years. Now, here's the part right here. While we don't need to ascribe any special meaning to the actual phenomenon, tonight's Christmas star will undoubtedly draw our minds and hearts to the original star that appeared in the heavens to mark the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. And I'll just end it right there. So, according to President Nelson, that conjunction, it didn't. We don't, just in his words, we don't need to ascribe any special meaning to it. Does that mean that other things don't have meaning? No. But I think he probably got wind of all the excitement around this conjunction, right? So, um, could it have been a sign in the heavens? Yeah, I think so, but maybe that would be ascribing a special meaning to it, and that would go against what President Nelson said. So, I don't know. So, when I heard about this conjunction that was going to take place this year, I wasn't really too excited about it, even though I've been looking at all these other heavenly phenomena that's been taking place. You know, we had the meteor that exploded over Texas recently, a couple of weeks ago, and then just a day or two before that, a meteor over France and England that entered Earth's atmosphere, and it was really large at the time the Super Bowl was going down. We've had these weird things shot down by the U.S. military in the sky, these weird objects. Bolt of lightning striking Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. Just did the video about the the unprecedented vortex on the sun's north pole. We had a really rare comet, comet E3. Only comes around once every 50,000 years. So there's just been a lot of stuff, right? But this one, I don't know. I wasn't too excited. But I'm putting it down here anyway, because let me show you a few things, okay? Especially toward the end of the video, there's something pretty crazy. Okay, on space.com, see a bright Venus and Jupiter hold a celestial meeting in the night sky this month. All right. Says finally they will appear closest together on Wednesday evening, March 1st, when they will be a scant 31 arc minutes or 0.52 degrees apart. Jupiter will shine at magnitude negative 2.1, twice as bright as Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, but Venus will be blazing at magnitude negative 4.0, nearly 6 times brighter than Jupiter. So, in case you're wondering when you're looking at that, the brighter one is Venus. Weather permitting, these two worlds should make for a very striking visual spectacle, no doubt attracting the attention of even those who don't give more than a casual glance at the night sky. Now, it's funny because this did actually get a lot of attention from people, like people that aren't paying attention. Some of them were thinking that it was a UFO. In fact, let's see, conjunction UFO. I was reading this earlier. Let's look at this TMJ4, not a UFO. Okay, let me pause this. Not a UFO. Venus and Jupiter share a kiss in the night sky. TMJ4 received several phone calls Wednesday evening about two strange stationary lights in the night sky. Have no fear, it isn't an alien invasion. It's actually the two brightest planets, Venus and Jupiter, sharing a cosmic kiss in the night sky. So why am I bringing that up? It's because, you know, for anyone that's not really watching Signs of the Times, this could possibly get somebody's attention, potentially. Even if just a little bit. You know, you don't think about these things very much. You look up, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Everybody basically knows that there's a lot of people that assign special meaning to things happening in the sky when you have planetary alignments, when you have special events happening. So even the most oblivious of people would look up at this and it would catch their attention. Now, is it going to actually do anything for them? I don't know, but it might for some. For some, it may cause them to kind of stop and think and be like, you know what? I haven't really thought about end times in a long time, or that's not really my thing, but, you know, that was kind of crazy and it kind of did something special for me. You know, I don't know. There's lots of us. There's 8 billion people on the planet, so who knows how everybody reacted to this. Okay, the moon joins in. As if having the two brightest planets calling our attention to them in this month's evening sky wasn't enough, the moon will add its own special luster to this array during the evenings of February 21st and 22nd. And hopefully you caught that. Now, I actually, I think I put it on YouTube as a short when that was happening, because that in itself was pretty spectacular. I definitely put it on TikTok, so you can go on TikTok, look me up, and I have a video of it there as well. But when that happened, when it was the moon and Jupiter and Venus, that also looked pretty crazy. Okay, I did look up the brightest natural objects in the sky. And in first place, of course, we have the sun. After that, the moon. After that, Venus. And after that, Jupiter. So the fact that we had the two brightest planets, or the two brightest, aside from the moon and the sun, the next two brightest objects in the sky so close to each other, could it be a sign? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to take note of it. But it's interesting that those two were the ones that were causing this pretty incredible scene, right? Okay, what did the Jews say? Well, there's this article from Israel 365. This is not talking about the current conjunction between Jupiter and Venus. It's talking about December 21st of 2020 between Jupiter and Saturn. The name of the article is Rare Galactic Star of Jacob Candidate About to Light Up Night Sky, Presaging Messiah. And I'm just going to read this portion here. Balaam's Star of Jacob. Such such astronomical spectacles have frequently been ascribed messianic import. The source for this belief is in the Torah. When Balaam is hired by Balak, he blesses them concerning the end of days. That I see for them is not yet. What I behold will not soon be. A star rises from Yaakov. A scepter comes forth from Yisrael. It smashes the brow of Moab, the foundation of all children of Shet. That's in Numbers 24:17. And I actually meant to pull that up. That was the one thing. I knew I was missing something. Okay. Old Testament, Numbers. And then what was it? 24:17. 24. Let's see. Balaam sees the vision and prophesies of the destiny of Israel. He prophesies of the Messiah. Okay. So our interpretation of this is that he was prophesying of Messiah. There will come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter will rise out of Israel. Okay, let's see. And now behold, I go unto my people. Oh, wait, no, 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Okay, so that's in Numbers. It's one of the 5 books of Moses. Just to put that in perspective. Okay, this Torah verse also plays a central role in the Jewish concept of the Messiah, though it is the subject of different interpretations. This verse was interpreted by Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, known as Maimonides, and by the acronym Rambam, who was the foremost Torah authority of the 12th century. In his book, Mishnah Torah, the Rambam brings this verse about a star appearing as proof that the Messiah will come one day. According to Rambam, the Messiah will come from Jacob, more specifically from the tribe of Judah. Abraham ben Mir ibn Ezra, an 11th century Bible commentary from Spain, explained this verse as a prophecy that relates to the time of King David. So see, because in Judaism they have all sorts of different opinions, and that's like an ongoing, maybe the longest ongoing inside joke that there is you have the idea that you have 2 Jews and 3 opinions, right? You read the Talmud. The Talmud is a compilation of different opinions from rabbis commenting on the oral Torah, and there's contradictions because different rabbis have different opinions, you know. And so, from what I understand, if you're becoming a rabbi or you're just simply studying Torah, you're studying Judaism, and you're a Jew, you're going to have to choose who you agree with, essentially, which is a far cry from our church. Now, there are people that have different opinions, but if we just look to the prophet, we look at church materials, we can keep it all, we can pretty much keep it all on the same page. And some things just don't have interpretations at this time. We have to wait and see. But anyway, okay, now the last part. In addition, the Zohar, the foundational work of Jewish mysticism, describes in detail the stars that are prophesied to appear as a precursor to Messiah. So, in other words, they don't have like really a very strong, like, excuse me, idea about like what we're seeing right now in regards to Jupiter, Venus. Um, we looked at this recently. The Hebrew word for, or the Hebrew name for Jupiter is Sedek. Sedek. Okay. Jupiter, the largest of the solar system planets, is called in Hebrew Sedek, which means justice. It also means righteousness. And we've talked about how Melchizedek, right? That's king. My king is righteousness, or king of righteousness. Um, so it's an interesting name to call Jupiter, right? It says the name Sedek appears in the Old Testament, but is not in reference to the planet, although this visible planet was known in the biblical era. It is mentioned in the New New Testament in Hebrew as Bel, and in its Roman name Jupiter. Okay, so there's not a whole lot to go off of when it comes to Jupiter, other than the Jews view it as Sedek. There's also been the popular belief spread around that Jupiter is the king planet as viewed by Christians, which there's not really a formal adoption of that interpretation that I've been able to find. I think other people that are just kind of like in the second coming community or other eschatological circles may view it that way, but I'm not aware of anywhere, like any one church denomination, that views Jupiter as the king planet. Although common sense would, you know, if you were to ascribe meaning to a planet, you would probably say that, oh, well, Jupiter's the biggest, so it's the king out of the planets, right? It's the biggest, it's important, it has a big red eye, eye of a storm. There's different Christians that'll be like, oh, see, it represents Christ because the stripes, it's like, with my stripes you are healed. You know, it has, Jupiter is famous for having its stripes. And then the red storm that's taking place, they're like, see, that's like Christ, he was pierced in the side. So it's all very kind of loose and weak. There's not a whole lot to like really cement that in anywhere, and definitely not in our church. But I mean, you could view it that way, view it how you want. So, you know, there's some interesting things going on with Jupiter. Now let's take a look at Venus. Venus shows up in the scriptures a few times. We're in Second Peter chapter 1, and in verse 19, I'll zoom in here. It says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. So the day star, that's Venus. That's referring to Venus. Specifically, when Venus is seen in the morning. Right now, at this time of year, it's showing up in the evening. But when it's in the shows up in the morning time, it's known as the day star. And then when you click on the footnote here for star, it takes you to the other two times that it's mentioned. So the first time, the next time is in Revelation chapter 2, verse 28, where that says, and I will give him the morning star, right? Um, don't worry about that one. Okay, so now we'll go to the last chapter of Revelation, and let's read this. And maybe, I don't know, maybe apply this to what we're seeing right now, but maybe not. Verse 6, and he said unto me, these things are faithful and true, and the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to shew unto his servant the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy in this book. And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which shewed me these things. Then said he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still, and he that is righteous, let him be righteous still, and he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whoso loveth and maketh a lie. Okay, now look at this. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. So that's kind of interesting because he basically says, like, um, don't seal this book, don't hide it. The time is at hand, and whatever level you're at when I come, that's where you're going to be at. That's how you're going to be judged as far as like the time of the second coming. Are you terrestrial, celestial? You know. So he goes through and talks about like, okay, it's coming, and don't seal it up. Let people know about it. And I'm coming. I'm coming quickly. Um, and then he calls himself the bright and morning star, which is Venus. So um, there is scriptural reason to associate Christ with Venus. Not so much Christ with Jupiter, but Christ with Venus. Okay. In Hebrew, the name for Venus is Noga, right? And Noga. They don't have vowels, or they have vowels, but like Hebrew is weird. Anyway, you're supposed to just like with some words, you're supposed to just know what the vowel is going to be. So anyway, but this is Noga. Noga is the second farthest planet from Earth after Mercury. It is the brightest planet in our solar system after the sun and moon. Noga was associated with the female Babylonian goddess Ishtar, and this is the source of the English name star, in case you didn't know. Later, Ishtar became the Greek Aphrodite and the Roman Venus. Um, the Hebrew name for this planet is clean of pagan influence. Noga in the Bible means bright light, which matches the visual characteristics of this planet. The word Noga is mentioned both in the Old and New Testament, but in the Old Testament, it is an adjective, whereas in the New Testament, it is an actual planet. The English name here is the morning star. I found this Wikipedia article that gives you the Hebrew name for all the stars, or all the planets, I mean. So, for example, Saturn is Shabbatai, meaning the restful one, whose name is parallel to that of the Sabbath day, the seventh day, the day of rest. Esoterically, Saturn embodies time itself. In the midst of time's passage, Saturn remains still and silent, drawing all endeavors to a close. Then we have Jupiter, Tzedek, meaning righteousness, as Jupiter is the embodiment of divine influx, whatever. Mars is Ma'adim, the red one. The sun is Hama, the hot one. It's a very good description. Venus is Noga, which means the she planet. Okay, female. Interesting. The she planet, the bright one, or the bright planet, respectively. Kokav is Mercury, meaning the planet. okay, I'm not going to read all that. And then moon is Lavina, or the white one. Okay. So again, you can look at this again. Um, one way that you can look at it is if this is meant to be some kind of sign associated with the second coming. You have two lights up in the sky, really bright. The two brightest aside from the sun and the moon. Okay, one is righteousness. The other one is the she planet, right? You could look at it possibly as like if you want to assign Jupiter the role of Christ, and then Venus the sign of being a woman, the she planet. You could see possibly a marriage up there potentially. Um, there's not really a whole lot to suggest that, but in a lot of these articles, like the one that we were just reading, everyone's using this term right here that they're kissing, that Venus and Jupiter are kissing, and you find that in like every single article. Let's look up another one. Conjunction Jupiter Venus 2023. See, look, CNN, two planets will appear to kiss, quote unquote, tonight. Venus, Jupiter, this is New York Post. Let's see if they, well, there you go. Great visual. Thanks, New York Post. Okay, well, yeah, so you get the idea. They were pretty explicit with it. Gosh, stupid. Okay, so you could look at it as a marriage taking place potentially. Where you have these two bright ones, the bride and the bridegroom. The church obviously is associated with brightness, like a candle, don't hide it under a bushel. A city on a hill that cannot be hid, brightness. And then Christ coming, Christ representing the epitome of righteousness and justice. So you could look at it that way if you wanted to. So after this, okay, this is where things get, I think, even more interesting. And I didn't see anywhere talk about this. So as far as I know, I'm the only one to like really talk about this. So here's the Earth, right? And there's Venus and Jupiter. So you go like this, and okay, yeah, it's conjunction right now. See, from Earth's point of view, Venus and Jupiter are really close together. But guess what? I noticed this right here. On the other side, maybe about 45 degrees to the right, you have Mercury and Saturn. And I was like, what? Are they in conjunction right now too? Here, let's zoom out. Let's see. You see that? Zoop, zoop, like a big V, a big 45-degree angle. Jupiter and Venus, Mercury and Saturn. So as it turns out, yes, there is another conjunction taking place at the same time. I'm on this website called inthesky.org, and you see Venus and Jupiter right here. I guess I better zoom in. So you see Venus and Jupiter right here. On here it says March 2nd. It was at 4 in the morning Central Time. So essentially the night of the 1st, the morning of the 2nd, if you're in the Central Time Zone. So, but at the same time, Mercury and Saturn. Okay, so I was like, that's kind of interesting because, I don't know how often that happens where it happens on the same day, right? Now, conjunctions themselves are common, and they're not common. Like this year alone, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 conjunctions that are going to take place between different planets, right? So what I did, I wanted to see how uncommon this is because I've never thought about conjunctions like this, and I didn't know that there was a tool like this where you could look at future and past conjunctions. So I went forward in time. So this is 2023. Now we're going to skip forward to 2026. This is the next time that you see two conjunctions on the same day. The thing about this one, though, is that instead of 4 planets being involved, it's only 3. You have Mercury-Saturn conjunction and Saturn-Mars. So essentially, well, it seems like all three of those really are in conjunction if you think about it, but only 3 planets. Now, look at how many conjunctions there are that year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so conjunctions by themselves, not really rare. However, it's looking like conjunctions on the same day, like 2 different conjunctions, are rare. So this is 2026, and then in 2028 there's another one. But again, it's only 3 planets. It's the Mercury, Uranus, and Mars Uranus conjunctions. So only 3 planets. That's in 2028. It's going to be on June 23rd. Okay, what next? Skipping forward to 2035, I pulled this one out because look at this. Now this, from what I can tell, this is rare because during that year there's only going to be 4 conjunctions, and that's it. Just 4 in 2035. Okay, and then in 2036, that's the next time that we're going to have a double conjunction that includes 4 planets. And it's going to be the same 4 planets. And it's going to be the same conjunction. It's going to be Mercury, Saturn, just like it is. Wait, is that what it is right now? Mercury. Yeah, Mercury. No, sorry. Yeah, Mercury, Saturn. Okay, so it's the same. So once again, July 22nd of 2036, Mercury and Saturn are going to be in conjunction on the same day that Venus and Jupiter are going to be in conjunction. Okay, so that's a ways away. I mean, that's 13 years from now. So maybe not the most rare thing ever, but pretty rare. Pretty rare to have a set of 4 to make a double conjunction on the same day. I also went back in time. I might have to put this on a spreadsheet sometime, but okay, I went back in time. So you have to go back to 2008. I wanted to show you that in that year there were a ton of conjunctions. I counted this up before, and there were 19 in that year of 2008. But you have to go all the way back to 2003 to see a 4-planet or a double conjunction on the same day. So in 2003, on June 20th, that's when we had the last double 4-planet conjunction. So that was a long time ago. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, and then 13 years from now, we'll have the same thing. So pretty rare. So I don't know that means anything, but it doesn't happen very often, from what I can tell. Like I said, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll do like a spreadsheet and just see how far I can go, just to get a really good sense of how rare that is. So it is possible that what happened yesterday was special in some kind of sign, right? So anyway, I think that's all that I had. I would love to hear from you if you have any further insights about this. I'm not too big into the astrology stuff, as you know. Sometimes I look at constellations and their their meanings, because that could be something. Sometimes constellations, I think, do mean things, like in the case of the Revelation 12 sign in 2017. And then this comet that just passed by, it went through some very interesting constellations that all relate to Christ. So anyway, okay. Well, I guess that's it for this one. Again, let me know if you've sent out any copies of the Book of Mormon. Maybe pause the video right now, do it, and then put it in the comments. Just make it a simple post so I can easily find it, or you can email me as well. And let's try and get up to 5,000. And the number of shares, let's try and get that up into the thousands, because there's thousands of you. So please do it. All right, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.